This reading is a little detour before I start Sarga 24, Shloka 16. I need to give a little bit of a background to a few characters and few uh, areas that we are going to discuss in the next few shlokas. So, uh, the detour will give us a little understanding of certain characters and certain things that we are going to discuss that Valmiki ji might have assumed that everybody knows, but a couple of yugas have passed since he wrote the story. So I'll give the description of the background. The stories from our Vedic times to our later Vedic times, which literally are the Puranas, have evolved, and we find the same characters showing transformative changes. Interestingly, both our Itihas, the epics, are between the two periods. I will narrate the different versions of the same story and the backgrounds of those stories for ease of understanding verses 16 through 32. So first I'll give the Rig Vedic version. During the Rig Vedic times, Vitra is the great enemy of Indra and is described as a he, a serpent-like being. His name Vritra is associated with enveloper, coverer, or obstruction. Vritra means he held back the cosmic water, preventing it from flowing freely. He did so to cause universal stagnation, exert power over uh, the, the Vedic gods, and embodied the cosmic forces of chaos and drought over order. Now, Indra, the great warrior and also the storm god of the Vedas, took up his Vajra or the thunderbolt and attacked Vritra. When Indra strikes and kills him, the obstruction is broken and the imprisoned water rushes forth from the mountain like released cattle. The world can flourish again. This victory is so fundamental to Indra's identity that one of his famous names is Vrittahan, the slayer of Vritra. However, in the Puranas, we find Vritra as a much more complicated character. The story begins with Indra killing Vishwarupa, the son of the divine craftsman uh, Twastra. Twastra. Twastra performs a powerful sacrifice in response to Vitra's uh, in response to the killing of his son, and from that sacrifice, Vritra arises as Indra's enemy. So, in the Puranas, it is Indra kills Vishwarupa, who is the son of Twastra. Twastra does a sacrifice, and from that sacrifice arises Vritra. Indra eventually kills him again with a Vajra, but this victory becomes morally wrong as it is considered Brahmahatya. In Bhagavad Puran, the story becomes a little bit more complex, where it is revealed that Vritra, now called Vritasur, was King Chitraketu from his previous life. He was a great devotee, however, got cursed by Parvati to be born as an Asur. During this battle, during his battle with Indra, he actually displays extraordinary spiritual wisdom and accepts death without fear because he desires liberation rather than worldly victory. Thus, the later Vitasur is no longer simply an evil, demonic character whom Indra will kill. He can simultaneously be an Asura, he can also be Indra's enemy, and also be a great devotee. So, Why does Indra suffer after killing him? Defeating an enemy and being completely free from the consequences of killing him are not necessarily the same thing. Thus, during the time of Ramayana, Vritra is explicitly regarded as a Brahmin. So, Indra killing him constitutes Brahmahatya, and by that act, he must undergo purification. That purification is the reason Vritra suddenly appears in the story that has Vishwamitra take Ram to the forest and the encounter with Tataka. As Ram and Lakshman travel with Vishwamitra, they enter a terrible and deserted forest. Vishwamitra explains that this land was not always a wilderness. Long ago, after Indra killed Vritra and became polluted by the Brahmahatya, the gods and the sages purified him in this region. The impurities associated with him were removed, and the two prosperous territories became known as Malad and Karusha. Malad, the word Malad came from the word Mal, which is dirty stuff, and Kurusha is spit. So the two impurities were discarded in this land, and the place was purified, and Indra himself was purified in that land. Then Indra blessed the country, and for a long time, Malad and Kurusha flourished. However, when Tataka came to inhabit the region, she devastated that area by turning those prosperous lands into frightening wilderness through now which Ram is traveling. Tataka herself originally was a powerful Yakshi, and she was the daughter of Suketu. She married Sunda and had two sons, Marich and Subahu. Sunda was destroyed following a conflict with sage Agastya. Tatak, Tataka and Marich then attacked Agastya in revenge, and Agastya cursed them, transforming Tataka into a terrible man eating figure. Tataka subsequently terrorized Malad and Kurush until Vishwamitra brought the young Ram to destroy her. And that was the detour of Sarga 24, Shloka 16 through 32. I will next be reciting those shlokas, and the story will be much more easier to understand.